Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and folk of all ages, you know what time it is. It's the beginning of June. We got a new month, so we got new days of remembrance and new holidays to go over. Alrighty then, we're going to go right into it. On June the 9th, we have the Day of Remembrance for King Athanaric of the Visigoths. And we follow that up. On June 20th is the official day for Miðsumar. Now we'll observe that on the 21st, because that's the third Saturday of the month, but 20th, 21st, and the 21st is oftentimes the solstice as well. We're going to be good to go there. Alrighty, y'all. Let's not beat around the bush, get down to it, and go into some details on these holy days. On the 9th, as I said, is the Day of Remembrance for King Athanaric of the Visigoths. Born sometime in the mid-4th century Common Era, Athanaric led the Visigoths as their king from 369 until his death in 381. We know next to nothing about his early life, or about his life outside of his deeds defending Asatru and his people. His 12 years as king were mired by conflict, both with the Christian Romans as well as Visigoths, who wanted to see the Aesir forgotten among their folk. The early years of Athanaric's reign was spent preserving the Gothic culture and folk soul by stamping out the foreign faith of Christianity wherever it took root amongst his people. He correctly surmised that the advent of Christianity would be detrimental to his people, as well as an insult to the Aesir. He was resolute in his opposition to the foreign faith and the soul sickness it would carry for his people, going so far as to punish those who willingly severed their troth with the Aesir. Initially during this time, Athanaric was allied with another Visigothic ruler named Fritigern, and they fought bravely against the Roman Empire together. After converting to Christianity, however, Fritigern turned on King Athanaric and started the Gothic Civil War. Athanaric won every battle he had with Fritigern and his army of traitorous Christian Visigoths, even after Fritigern received aid from the Emperor Valens of Rome. Once the Visigoths, who remained true to the Aesir, had won the unfortunate war against their kin, however, the infamous Huns invaded from the east. Upon this invasion, Fritigern and his fellow Christians were allowed to take refuge with the Romans, while the Asatru Visigoths were left to fend for themselves. They were outmanned and weakened in the aftermath of their war with Fritigern and the Christian Goths, leaving them no means of standing a chance against the relentless Huns. Athanaric and his folk were forced out of their lands and into the Carpathians. He and his people were received by Theodosius I in Constantinople, and signed a treaty of friendship with the Eastern Roman Empire. King Athanaric was an energetic and dauntless sovereign of the Visigoths, loyal to his gods and his folk until his very end. Not only did he hold his own loyalty to the Aesir, but he strove with all his might to keep his whole folk in troth with the gods. Let us honor King Athanaric not only by raising a glass or horn in his name, but also by living Asatru proudly. Let us stand tall, walk proudly, and remain resolute in the face of all that would seek to separate us from the holy Aesir. Hail, King Athanaric! And later on in the month, as I said, is Midsummer. Now, it falls on the solstice, the summer solstice. This year, that is the 20th. Oftentimes it is the 21st, I think more often than not. But, thankfully, we kind of get best of both worlds, because the 20th happens to be a Friday, and the 21st is the third Saturday of the month. So that's the day we'll observe it, of course, for most of our Hofs. For us, Midsummer is considered the official beginning of summer. But for our ancestors who only recognized two seasons, winter and summer, Midsummer was also the middle of the season. The common factor between our ancestors' celebration and ours is the summer solstice. On Midsummer, we celebrate the longest day of the year and the shortest night. The dark and cold of winter is firmly past, and the days are full of vitality and life. But first, we celebrate. The best known symbol of Midsummer is the bonfire. In Europe, bonfires are still lit and burn the whole night through. Men and women gather to celebrate the warm days and the successful planting season by dancing around the bonfire. Many people focused on love and fertility during the summer solstice, with folk traditions that include picking wildflowers and putting them under one's pillow to dream of the person they will marry. Couples often jump over the fire during midsummer to be blessed by the Aesir and the ancestors. The planting season is finished. The hard work that began with the blessing of the tools at Desathing and the planting of the seeds after Asatru has been finished. Now we tend to the growing crops and revel in the beauty of life. We can take a momentary break from the difficulties of life to embrace that which makes the hard work worth the effort. As the revelry comes to an end, however, we must take the time to remember that the days will now begin to shorten once again. Winter will come and our hard work is not yet done. Hail, Balder! And that's the holidays and holy days we have for this year for the month of June. Now I do want to let y'all know, of course, about all of our upcoming fantastic national events that we have on the schedule. The first one, of course, is Midsummer at Odenshof. Now this is a fabulous day. I was so lucky to get out there last year, and you do not want to miss it. As with all of our national events, it is the fourth weekend of the month. So for this year, for June, that's going to be the 27th, 28th, and 29th. If you can make it out to Brownsville, California, you definitely should. You can get your tickets, as with all of our national events as well, runestone.org/store. I'll make sure that the link for that is in the description. And then in July, because we're going to go through all our national events that we've got coming up, I want you to come see me. Come out to Tennessee, come to Sigerheim, come to Sigerblot, our third National Sigerblot at the Home of Victory. Come on out. We're going to have a great time camping and plenty of food and blots and all of the good stuff. Come see Relentless, the Sword of Victory, the Sword of the AFA, and hang out with the rest of us here in Appalachia, and we'd love to see you out. That is going to be July 25th, 26th, and 27th. And then in August is Freyfaxi at Baldershof. Celebrate Freyr and Balder and the harvest season at Baldershof in Murdoch, Minnesota. That's going to be the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of August. And then we'll skip a month in September as far as national events go. We do have a regional event, Freyr's Harvest Feast up in Montana. I'm sure that's going to go on this year, but we don't have any more details about that one. We'll skip a month and go to October, where we have Winter Nights. That's going to be in the New England area at present. Going to be in New Hampshire's on the schedule. You can get your tickets, as all of these national events, runestone.org. So come celebrate Winter Nights and the Dacier. This is going to be a great time as always. And that is on the schedule as October 10th, 11th, and 12th. Since that's not at a Hof or Sigerheim, I think they're skipping the fourth weekend rule. But you guys can reach out to any of your folk builders if you have any questions about any of these national events. We'll get you filled in on all the good details. runestone.org/store for tickets. Alrighty, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me for the month of June as we do our recap. I'll see y'all next month. And in the meantime, hail King Athanaric. Hail Balder, hail the folk, hail the Aesir, hail the AFA, and hail victory, y'all. Good night.